An urgent search is underway for a man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend at a Hall County convenience store.
This right here is 44-year-old Tia Keith. Her final moments captured on surveillance video inside of a convenience store. Police say her ex-boyfriend killed her in the store in Gainesville. And those who knew her say she was a devoted daughter, successful business owner, and someone who touched countless lives.
Such ambition when she came here. She already had a plan, like she wanted to excel in life and make our family proud.
She was always a daddy's girl, and I just loved her to death. She was just the light of my life.
Gainesville, Georgia, a quiet convenience store on Mountain View Road. Security cameras roll on an ordinary Thursday night, July 16th, 2026. A woman runs through the front door. She's not shopping. She's running for her life. Behind her, a man with a gun. The store clerk drops behind the counter and dials 911 with shaking hands. He watches the whole thing unfold through his own security monitor, powerless to stop what's about to happen just a few feet away from him. Within seconds, it's over. A 44-year-old hairstylist named Tia Vidon Keith collapses on the floor of a store she used to visit almost every single day. The man she trusted enough to let into her life had just become the reason she'd never leave that store alive. This is her story. Welcome to Caught in the Web True Crime Stories. Kindly support us by subscribing to this channel and turn the notification icon. Tia Vidon Keith was born on August 28, 1981, in Gainesville, Georgia. Her early years were split between two worlds. As a small child, she moved with her family to Crossett, Arkansas, where she was raised and eventually graduated from Crossett High School with the class of 1998. But Gainesville never let go of her, and she never let go of it. Every summer, Tia came back south, spending time with her father's side of the family, soaking up the love of an aunt who treated her like her own daughter, and building the kind of childhood memories with her cousins that last a lifetime. Faith was woven into her from an early age, too. She accepted her religion as a young girl and stayed connected to her church community for the rest of her life, even as an adult attending services at more than one congregation back in Gainesville. Eventually, Tia made a decision that would define the rest of her life. After finishing high school, she moved to Hall County, Georgia, with one goal in mind: build something of her own. She enrolled at a cosmetology school in Beaufort, Georgia, and earned her license. Not long after, she opened her own business. Friends and clients knew it by two names: Divine Designs and Royalty Style Salon, and Tia built a reputation as a master loctician, one of the most skilled and trusted stylists in the area. But people who knew her say the salon was never just about hair. It became a gathering place, a spot where women came in as clients and left as friends. One regular customer, the owner of the convenience store where she would later lose her life, described her simply: she came in twice a day. She was one of his most loyal customers.
He's my regular customer. She work on the salon. She work my very regular customer. She coming twice a day.
She worked at the salon just down the road. That's the kind of life Tia built. Small, familiar, rooted in community. The kind of life where everybody on the block knew your name. According to investigators, the man who would eventually be charged with Tia's murder was someone she had once shared a home with. Law enforcement has described 45-year-old Antoine Sintell Thurman of Oakwood, Georgia, as Tia's former live-in boyfriend. At this point, very little has been made public about the relationship itself, how long they were together, or what led to the breakup. What we do know is that by the summer of 2026, the two were no longer a couple, and Tia had moved on with her life. We want to be upfront with you. As of this video, no prior criminal record for Antoine Thurman has been publicly reported by investigators or local media. That doesn't mean one doesn't exist. It simply hasn't been released, and we won't speculate about details that haven't been confirmed. What we can tell you comes directly from the Hall County Sheriff's Office and their official statements. It was a Thursday night, just after 9:30 p.m. Tia pulled into the Subhanallah Food Mart on Mountain View Road, a store she visited constantly, sometimes more than once a day. She went inside to make a quick purchase, the kind of errand she probably ran without a second thought 100 times before. When she walked back out to her vehicle, someone was already waiting for her. According to the Hall County Sheriff's Office, Thurman was sitting inside her passenger seat when she returned to the car. Investigators say that for reasons that still have not been officially explained, he opened fire on her while they were both still inside the vehicle. Tia was hit multiple times, and somehow in that moment, she found the strength to escape the car. She ran, back toward the only place that felt safe, the store she knew so well, the store where the owner recognized her face on sight. But Thurman followed her inside. Surveillance cameras captured what happened next. He continued firing as she tried to get away, striking her again inside the store. The clerk, who knew her as a regular, could only duck behind the counter and call for help. Another customer inside froze, doing everything he could to stay out of the line of fire. Tia Keith died on the floor of that convenience store. The Hall County Sheriff's Office says the store clerk and the other customer inside were not injured. Thurman fled the scene. What followed was a 7-day search that stretched across the state of Georgia.
And new tonight, family and friends are remembering a Hall County woman who was shot and killed this month. Good evening, I'm Wendy Corona. George Estevez is off. This right here is 44-year-old Tia Keith. Her final moments captured on surveillance video inside of a convenience store. Police say her ex-boyfriend killed her in the store in Gainesville. And those who knew her say she was a devoted daughter, successful business owner, and someone who touched countless lives. Channel 2's Susan Hendricks is live in Hall County, where loved ones are honoring the woman they say meant so much to so many. Susan.
Yes, she really did, Wendy. And Tia Keith moved here after high school with a dream of opening her own hair salon, of having a life that friends and family would be proud of. She did just that and so much more. But on July 16th, police say her ex-boyfriend shot and killed her at that convenience store. It's just 4 miles from where I'm standing, the church where her funeral will be held tomorrow. But her friends and family again saying, look, we want to focus on the life that she lived, who she was.
Such ambition when she came here. She already had a plan, like she wanted to excel in life and make our family proud. And she has always made us proud.
Tia Keith built a successful career as a hairstylist, earning loyal clients who became like family. Her father says she was and always will be the center of his world.
She was always a daddy's girl, and I just loved her to death. She was just the light of my life.
The community is still trying to process what happened on Thursday, July 16th, when investigators say Tia Keith was shot by her ex-boyfriend outside of a local convenience store and continued to shoot as she ran inside.
It hurt the city of Gainesville, period, and all her loved ones.
Surveillance footage shows her trying to get away and the clerk ducking behind the counter as he calls 911.
Great loss.
Antoine Sintell Thurman was arrested a week later at a motel and charged with malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault.
I was just in there, people walking by, looking at the setup that we have in there, and they were just breaking out in tears.
Friends and family filled the Wimberley Funeral Home to remember a woman they say poured her heart into every person she met.
Very glamorous, sweet-hearted, smart.
The Hall County Sheriff's Office issued a warning to the public. Thurman was considered armed and dangerous. Investigators noted a distinguishing detail that made him easier to identify: a tattoo on his neck reading Romans 12:19, along with a noticeable limp from a prosthetic lower leg. Deputies recovered the vehicle Thurman had been in after he fled and executed a search warrant at a home in Metro Atlanta, turning up evidence but no suspect. The FBI and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation joined the case, and for a full week, Thurman seemingly vanished. Then, exactly 1 week after the shooting, investigators tracked him down. Not in Hall County, not even close. He was found roughly 140 miles away, holed up alone in a room at a Studio 6 motel in Augusta, Georgia. A SWAT team and members of the Richmond County Sheriff's Office moved in. Thurman was taken into custody without incident and later transported back to Hall County, where he now faces charges of malice murder, felony murder, and aggravated assault under Georgia's Family Violence Act. Because malice murder is one of the most serious charges on the books in Georgia and can carry the possibility of the death penalty, the case will first go before a grand jury to determine whether to formally indict him. From there, Thurman would be arraigned and enter a plea. As of this video, family members say no court date has been set, and the process could stretch on for weeks or even months. Just one day after Thurman's capture, Tia's family and friends gathered to say goodbye. The Wimberley Funeral Home in Gainesville, filled with people whose lives had been touched by her in some way, clients, cousins, childhood friends, church family. Her cousin, Charlotte Sosebee, spoke about the ambition Tia carried with her from the very beginning, saying she already had a plan when she arrived in Hall County, a plan to build something her family could be proud of. And by every account, she did exactly that. Tia's father described her as the center of his world, a daddy's girl through and through. Friends remembered her as glamorous, sweet-hearted, and sharp. A woman with a radiant smile who made every person who walked into her salon feel like they mattered. In her memory, her aunt is establishing the Tia Vidon Keith Memorial Cosmetology Scholarship, set to begin in 2027 through Lanier Technical College, honoring the same passion for the craft that defined Tia's own career and giving future beauty professionals a chance to follow in her footsteps. What happened to Tia Keith fits a pattern that advocates against domestic and intimate partner violence have been sounding the alarm about for years. This was not, according to what investigators have released, a random act of violence. This was targeted. The store owner told reporters he believed she was specifically singled out. Not a stranger caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, but a woman who was known, watched, and waited for. The detail that stands out most to anyone who studies intimate partner violence is this. Thurman was reportedly already sitting inside Tia's vehicle when she came out of the store. That is not an act of impulse. That is positioning. That is a level of planning that separates a moment of rage from something far more calculated. Experts who study lethality risk in domestic violence situations point to a handful of red flags that tend to appear before the worst outcomes. A recent breakup or separation, a former partner who shows up uninvited, or who knows a victim's routine well enough to predict exactly where and when she'll be alone. Escalating access to a firearm, and a victim who is pursued even after she physically tries to get away. By the accounts released so far, several of those markers appear to have been present here. We want to be careful and responsible with this. We are not confirming a motive because law enforcement has not confirmed one. The sheriff's office itself has said the reason behind the shooting remains, in their words, unknown. What we can say is that the pattern of behavior described, waiting, following, pursuing her even as she fled into a public space full of witnesses, mirrors cases that advocates have documented again and again involving separation, control, and the most dangerous period in an abusive relationship, the moment after a victim tries to leave. If there is one thing this case underscores, it's that leaving a relationship is not always the end of danger. For too many women, it's the beginning of the most dangerous chapter. Tia Keith spent her life making other people feel beautiful, valued, and seen. Her salon chair was more than a workstation. It was a place where women walked in as strangers and walked out as friends. That's the legacy her family is choosing to hold on to, not the final moments captured on a grainy security camera, but the decades of warmth she gave to everyone who crossed her path. If you or someone you know is in a relationship that feels unsafe, especially after a breakup or separation, please know that help exists and you are not alone. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24 hours a day at 1-800-799-7233 or by texting START to 88788. If this story moved you, take a second to like this video and subscribe to Caught in the Web True Crime Stories. We'll keep following this case as it moves through the courts, and we'll be back with Tia's story again the moment there's an update to share. Thank you for watching and for making sure her name isn't forgotten.